dyspraxia system, and today's video I want to talk about famous people who have or had dyspraxia, which you probably didn't know they have or had that. There are a few categories, starting with historical figures. This list is from the same book that I've used before in videos, and the celebrities that are mentioned have all disclosed their dyspraxia. Anyway, historical figures. The first one is Maria Ponte. I hope I said that correctly. It's the character Helen Burns in Charlotte Bronte's Jane Eyre, was based on Charlotte's sister Maria, who was clumsy in her untidy handwriting. So yeah, they suspect that Maria Bronte had dyspraxia. Second one is Emily Bronte, who is the author of Wuthering Heights, and she apparently shared some of Maria's neurodiversity. She hated being away from home, got stressed by change, preferred her own company, and spent hours wandering around the moors. Then we have Samuel Taylor Coleridge. Samuel couldn't cope with university as he was disorganized and had to join the army. He had difficulty balancing on his horse and using weapons, so ended up writing poetry instead, which is actually kind of cool. Why fight when you can write poetry? Then we have J.K. Chesterton, who is the author of the Father Brown books, and those books have also been televised and he used to receive poor school reports. And an example of school report I got is a slow and awkward boy with such a weak short-term memory that he often arrived in a place and wondered why he was there, once said, "This boy has a possible career as either an idiot or a genius." Well, he wrote a lot of really famous books, so. Now, then we have Albert Einstein. I know a lot of people think he was autistic, but there is more evidence for the fact that he was dyspraxic. He was an underachiever at school, and records suggest that he displayed dyspraxic tendencies. He couldn't remember his timetables, got lost in his own neighborhood, was unable to tell right from left, couldn't bear the feel of his socks on his skin, and was expelled from school because he couldn't pay attention in class, and he was still unable to tie a pair of shoelaces when he died. Oh, that screams more dyspraxic to me than autism. But no. Then Winston Churchill, he was also dyspraxic. He was a self-confessed underachiever at school who was not very good at sports. He said in 1930 that he was on the whole considerably discouraged. All his contemporaries and even younger boys seemed in every way better adapted to the conditions of his little world. They were far better both at the games and at the lessons. It is not pleasant to feel oneself so completely outclassed and left behind at the very beginning of the race. That's what he said. So that were all the historical figures that were listed in here. And we have some actors. First off, Daniel Radcliffe has said in 2008 that he has dyspraxia and that he had really trouble with tying his shoelaces and keeping up at school, I think. Some sources also say that he's advocating for dyspraxia and awareness of that, but I couldn't find that much on him. I have looked into it because I personally also like Daniel Radcliffe as an actor. But most of the sources all said the same thing about him and dyspraxia. But I think he's pretty open about it now. So yeah. And another actor is Jean Dujardin, who was the winner of the Best Actor in the 2012 Oscars. According to the Irish Independent newspaper, Dujardin struggled with writing, preferring to write between the lines rather than on them. He was also hopeless at rugby, but was apparently a fast runner, which saved him from being constantly tackled by his three brothers. Dujardin's ability to make people laugh, however, made up for what he lacked in the classroom and on the rugby field. Then we have a singer/musician, which is Florence Wells, who was diagnosed as dyslexic and dyspraxic. Florence was far more interested in what was going on outside school than her lessons. And a quote, I'm guessing from her, in 2009, it was, "I was just quite absent mentally as well most of the time physically." And then we have sportsmen and women. And the first one being Scott Quinnell, who is the ex-Welsh rugby international player. He had dyspraxia, dyslexia, and ADHD, and he gives talks to schools and colleges about his experiences of living with neurodiversity, which is pretty cool. And then we also have Rebecca Chin, the Olympic rower who has dyspraxia and the hypermobility of the joints. She was a member of the British rowing team in Rio in 2016. Rebecca won the top prize in her section at the British University and College Sports indoor rowing competition. Her personal best time set in 2,000 meters at the British trials in November 2012 was entered in the British University and College Sports event and won her the gold. Unfortunately, there was confusion about whether Rebecca's dyspraxia was significant enough to meet the criteria of the Beijing Paralympics, so she was stripped of her silver medal for rowing and switched to Olympic rowing instead. And then we also have Philip Davies, who has Asperger syndrome and dyspraxia. I always say Asperger syndrome wrong, so I don't know if I said correctly now, but I always say it wrong. People always correct me, but I hate it when they correct me because I know that I'm saying it wrong. But yeah, Philip has autism and dyspraxia. and is now a twice British gymnastics champion, having earned the title at junior level in 2002 and senior in 2005. He came overall second at the Special Olympic World Summer Games in Athens in 2011, counting gold among his 7 medals. Philip is a coach at the Croydon School of Gymnastics, where he took his first class more than 20 years ago. And then we have entrepreneurs. First one is Louis Burnett. Louis started his company Chocolate Ltd. when he was just 12 years old, which is pretty epic, and has built it into a thriving global venture. His success is even more inspiring because Louis has dyspraxia and dyslexia. Louis was bullied and struggled for years in school. When he was 11, Louis's parents decided to homeschool him, and they found a tutor who specialized in working with dyspraxic children. In that environment, Louis was able to follow his passions and discover his talents, rather than constantly being reminded of what he couldn't do. At age 12, he founded Chocolate, initially running the business from his parents' garage. We know more entrepreneurs who started in a garage. Louis, who says dyspraxia gave him a unique outlook and approach to problem solving, came up with the idea of packaging his candies in edible chocolate boxes. That innovation got him noticed by the British supermarket chain Waitrose, who started stocking the chocolate confections when Louis was just 13. Within 2 years, Louis opened a factory in his hometown and was supplying several British, don't know what I said just now, but British retailers with luxury chocolates. He also became the youngest person to complete training and become accredited as a chocolatier at the prestigious Calabout Chocolate Academy, which is epic. I wish I could do that for a living, honestly. And we also have Guy Hans. Short name Guy. But Guy Hans, who is the director of EMI. People who know Hans say he has always been an outsider, singled out as a misfit at school. He was diagnosed with both dyslexia and dyspraxia. Numbers, however, are Hans' strength, and he could find things in a company's balance sheets that not even the company had noticed. Hans graduated from Oxford with a first-class degree in politics and economics. And then we also have some artists/photographers, starting with David Bailey. David Bailey, the photographer, has both dyslexia and dyspraxia. David is reported as saying that he was made to feel stupid at school due to his clumsiness and problems with spelling and writing. He was told that he was only fit for sweeping roads by his teachers, but years on, he's a famous photographer who has taken photos of many famous people, including the Beatles, the Rolling Stones, Razorlight, Kaiser Chiefs, and more. All this proves is that dyspraxia is not a barrier to success. Well, all of these people are proof that dyspraxia is not a barrier to success. Then we also have Picasso. It has been suggested that Picasso's artwork was influenced by his differences with visual perception, a common feature of dyspraxia. Then we lastly have some comedians, starting with Miranda Hart. Miranda Hart's comedy character has clearly exaggerated dyspraxic tendencies, which it is believed are based on her brother who has dyspraxia. Miranda's character Chummy in the BBC program called The Midwife showed Chummy as very clumsy and struggling to ride a bicycle, but who persevered to become a gifted midwife. And we also lastly have Rory Bremer. Rory disclosed that he has dyspraxia and ADHD during an interview with the Daily Telegraph in 2011. During the interview, he asked for a TV to be muted in the background as it was distracting him. Yeah, those are all the famous people with dyspraxia that I know of and that are listed in this book. There are probably more, but they've probably not disclosed that they have dyspraxia, or maybe it's because it hasn't been diagnosed yet, and there are probably also more people in our more historical figures who had dyspraxia, but obviously that's difficult to say. I hope that this video has helped prove that even if you have dyspraxia, it doesn't mean that you can't become successful or even an important figure in history. Just need to find what you're good at, what you enjoy doing, and you can be as successful as Einstein was, or as Daniel Radcliffe is now, or Picasso, or whoever else they've listed. So yeah, it was very empowering for me to read this, so hopefully it does the same for you. Now, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions or whatever, leave them down below in the comments. If you want to follow us on Twitter, you can. It's in the description and on the end screen. If you want to see more of our videos, be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to get notified when we upload a new video. We upload every Wednesday, and hope to see you all in the next video. Bye!